G'day, I'm the Fauna Fetcher, and today in this video I want to show you the wonders of Christmas Island. Let's go. Often when people hear about Christmas Island, they think, oh, boat people. But I'm here to tell you, it doesn't even happen anymore, and Christmas Island has a lot more to offer. So where the bloody hell is it? Well, if you said next to Easter Island, keep up the imagination, but you're wrong. It sits in the middle of the Indian Ocean and is actually closer to Indonesia than Australia, as you can see on the map. The majority of the coastline is relatively untouched and is covered in thick, dense forests with cliffs and terraces bordering the coastline. The island itself is actually a peak uprising out of the sea floor and is covered in valuable phosphate deposits, hence the booming phosphate mining industry. Some even describe the island as looking like Jurassic Park. Being so close to the equator means high humidity and high temperature, which means get ready to get sweaty.
So, to cool off, most of the locals and tourists go for a dip in Flying Fish Cove. This spot is also perfect for snorkeling and scuba diving. The main settlement of the island pretty much surrounds the cove, as you can see on the map. And if you wanted a good look at it all, I would highly recommend Territory Day Park Lookout, near National Park HQ. The cove is also where all of mined phosphate from the island is loaded into the ships. You can't miss it. Mining on the island is the main source of employment, and probably supports the majority of the island's population, which sits at around 2,000 people. A large proportion of the people living on the island are either of Chinese or Malayan background. In only the short time I was living there, I witnessed many traditional cultural celebrations. I found it so incredible to see people so proud of their heritage and also so welcoming to foreigners to also celebrate the event.
And you know what else the locals are proud of? Their crabs. On the island there's 120 different species of land crab that has been identified. Now that's a whopping number. But the crabs themselves go to great lengths to breed and survive on the island. Out of these 120 different species, two come to mind as being favorites. One being the coconut crab, or more commonly known as the rubber crab, and second of course being the red crab. Most people would know the red crab for its mighty migration, from the depths of the forest to the cliffs of the ocean. During my time on the island, I was lucky enough to see the end of the great red crab migration. They were just everywhere. And apparently, this was nothing. To put it in perspective, the migration closes roads, and you need to travel with a rake in the back of your car. Can you believe that? In addition, I was fortunate enough to see the baby red crab return, which was apparently very small compared to those of the previous years. Now that was an amazing experience. For meters, the shoreline was red and moving. Thousands and thousands of tiny, almost translucent bodies moving up the shoreline, in hope to reach shelter before being preyed upon. Sadly, I'm not too sure if any did make it to the forest. The rubber crabs, or coconut crabs, are also very abundant around the island. In light of their name, they are truly well known to steal anything unnatural looking in their environment, whether it's bins, buckets, shoes, or even bloody research gear. Plus, they have a mean pinch of pressure
to allow them to get into those coconuts. So don't think you're getting your shoes back anytime soon. So, during my stay on the island, I did miss the red crab spawning. But I was fortunate enough to witness the blue crab spawning. This blue crab is a freshwater species, and it was just incredible to think that these blue crabs would travel from the inner forest freshwater habitats down to the ocean, often scaling beyond vertical cliffs just to release their eggs at night into the ocean, and then straight away return home on that same journey.
Fauna fact. Did you know Mr. David Attenborough himself said that Christmas Island holds one of the greatest migrations on Earth? Alright, to be honest, crabs did freak me out a little on the island, but I have to say, the birds on the island were just too cool for school.
All around the island you can witness the diverse bird life. From the cove, where the bosuns glide to the sea from the cliffs, or at Margaret Knoll Lookout, where the boobies catch the updraft wind, even at new and old mine sites, where puddles of rain collect, you can witness the large frigate birds queuing to swoop down in hope to catch a billful of water. When I first saw this happening, I was amazed and felt so lucky to get a closer look at these awesome birds, with some species even being endemic to the island. Populations seem plentiful, and no species has yet been recorded to go extinct. However, some species are threatened by human settlement and mining. At National Parks HQ, there is a seabird rehab center in which the park workers volunteer and take turns in feeding and rescuing birds in need. Whilst working on the island, I was able to meet a few lucky patients, including some red-footed boobies and a stunning Abbott's boobie. And how could I forget the residential frigate birds? In this video, you can see their amazing accuracy during swooping, taking fish straight out of my hand. And even the camera. Whoa, he must have thought that it was a fish. Feeding these amazing birds was probably the highlight of my trip on Christmas Island. What a ripper thing to experience.
Weekends usually consisted of snorkeling or even being out on the boat.
Locals say the island holds some of the best scuba and snorkeling sites in the world. And personally, I wouldn't argue that. The island's fringing reef supports an abundance of marine life, including amazing corals and both Indian and Pacific Ocean fish species. It's not rare to even see the odd turtle, shark, or dolphin swimming around the island. And if you're really lucky, you might even get to witness the magnificent whale shark, depending on the season. Blind Fish Cove is the most popular for snorkeling and scuba diving on the island. However, there are a number of other places that are just as stunning, of which includes Ethel Beach and even Dolly Beach. Most sites are really easy to access, where you can just chuck your snorkeling gear on and walk down from the beach. A boat trip can get you to exclusive spots, but it's not necessary. And I can't forget to mention the fishing. No doubt a fisherman's paradise. From tuna, sailfish to wahoo.
Fauna fact. Did you know whale sharks give birth to live young? Where'd he go? Unlike Australia, Christmas Island has a limited diversity of reptiles on the island. In fact, there's only one species left in the wild, and that was the reason for my trip. This was the giant gecko.
Another two lizard species used to share the forest of Christmas Island with the giant gecko, these being the Lister's gecko and the blue-tailed skink. However, these species are now extinct in the wild, most likely caused by the introduction of new predators. Introduced predators of the island include the common rat, the wolf snake, and the giant centipede. Whilst on the island, I was assisting with research, which will hopefully provide an insight into the extinction of these species. The wolf snake, of course, was my favorite reptile on the island, even though it was introduced. They aren't a large snake, growing at about 80 centimeters max length. However, when caught, they will bite. And I found this out the hard way. Look at this hatchling go. Not to worry though, this species is not harmful to humans. Ouch, but he did give me a good bite. In addition to research, national parks on the island are doing a great job in captive breeding populations of these species. In the future, they hope to one day reintroduce the population into the wild.
On the island, there is a number of different walking trails and hiking tracks for people to access and enjoy.
There are many signed treks on the island for people to enjoy, varying in length and intensity. However, I do warn people that many of these tracks are not for the faint-hearted. Personally, I would recommend the Dales, West White, Dolly Beach, and Territory Day Park. For more information about the treks, you can visit the Visitor Centre at the Cove or National Parks HQ. One thing I can assure you, that all the treks and walks on the island are stunning and show you the various sides of the island's personality.
So there you have it. That was my small documentary on Christmas Island. However, you could say that was only the tip of the island. I'm the Fauna Fetcher and I'm flying out.